45-year-old Carmichael Joseph, a businessman of Letem, Region 9, his son Lindomar Santos, 20, of Boa Vista, Brazil, and health worker Juanita Honorio of Tiger Pond Village, Rupununi. The Evening News understands that the accident involved a lorry and a four-wheel pickup truck in which the three persons were traveling at the time of the accident. The Guyanese victims had to be pulled from the wreckage and were all pronounced dead at the scene. During his address to the nation on the occasion of Guyana's 57th independence anniversary, President Dr. Irfan Ali last evening announced that a commission of inquiry will be established to investigate the deadly fire that ripped through the female dormitory of the MAHDIA Secondary School. Berbice has the details in this report.
Tonight, the golden arrowhead will be raised across our country. We will lift our heads upwards when this is being done. But we will also bow our heads in respect for those who perished in last Monday's inferno at MAHDIA. 19 of our precious angels have been snatched from us in a harrowing experience that has lacerated the soul of our nation.
That was President Irfan Ali delivering his address at the Independence Day celebration in Letem, Region 9, last evening. The golden arrowhead was hoisted in reflection to pay tribute to the 19 lives lost in the MAHDIA tragedy. The head of state noted that this incident is one which has left the country in deep anguish. He has informed that a commission of inquiry will be established to probe the circumstances of the MAHDIA fire at the SOONEST.
We are also committed to the establishing of a commission of inquiry to investigate the causes and circumstances of the fire which destroyed the dormitory and to inquire into related issues. This will be done soonest. The findings of that inquiry will inform the way forward.
President Ali has assured continued support and compensation for the families of those affected in aiding them to rebound from the devastation.
The government which I lead has committed to doing everything that is possible to assist those affected. The support will be ongoing.
The Evening News understands that the police have dispatched a file to the DPP chamber for advice on the way forward. The police have confirmed that a teenage student set the dormitory on fire after her mobile phone was confiscated by the dorm mother and administration due to her behavior. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
In light of this announcement, former Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Lennox Schumann, believes that a commission of inquiry is key to understanding the issues that caused the blaze and finding solutions to prevent the recurrence of such a tragedy. In a statement on Thursday, Schumann, who is the leader of the Liberty and Justice Party, noted that the outpouring of support nationally and internationally has been tremendous and is welcome. He similarly recognized the efforts of the Guyana government in responding to this horrific incident. In fact, he specifically lauded a commitment made by President Dr. Irfan Ali on Thursday to launch a COI into the events of the MAHDIA tragedy, as well as his commitment to providing compensation to the affected families. It is my sincere belief that this support is multifaceted and comprehensive. While there is nothing that one can do to reverse the tragic events nor their effects, these are critical and important first steps to understanding the issues and finding comprehensive solutions to ensure these things never occur in the future of this nation, Schumann posited. Meanwhile, days after the deadly blaze, new details have surfaced of what really transpired on that fateful evening in which 18 girls and a 5-year-old boy were left dead. In this Pujarambaran report, a neighbor took to social media to relay her first-hand experience.
Samantha John is the former deputy Tushao of Campbelltown MAHDIA in Region 8 and the closest neighbor to the dorm. At about 2300 hours on Sunday, she was alerted by her husband of the expansive fire, after which he immediately rushed in aid of the children.
It was already a lot of fire out of the dorms on both sides. When my husband said, Samantha, the dorm's on fire, in his bare boxers, with no clothes, run out and went and held the children there.
John also clarified that statements revealing that the doors of the building were locked are false. The Guyana Fire Service, in a Monday press release, stated that the 26 windows of the building were heavily grilled and the 5 doors were locked with keys. John, however, shared that her husband's experience was the opposite.
When people are saying she was not there, that is a lie from the pit of hell. And they're saying how the door was locked. When my husband went there to the dorms, the gate was locked. No guard was there. My husband opened the gate. No guard was there. When he go in, the door was open and he run in, snatched some children and run out in the smoke. It was fire from the front, the smoke heading to the back. And he went and he saved how much he could have saved. He saw some of the children that he couldn't even save, hollering, "Uncle help, uncle help." And he couldn't help them.
John added that reports that the dorm mother was not present on the scene are also untrue.
People are saying the dorm's mother was not there. She was right there with her children. I asked her, I said, "Miss, all your children are safe?" She said, "No. Some of the children are trapped in there. My baby is in there." And I started to cry because I feel her pain. The children there are like my children. And I feel for them. I love them and I care for them. Right now we all are traumatized. My family are traumatized. And when I gave her the clothes, she went back. She said, "I have to go and get my rest of children." And she went back to the dorms.
Meanwhile, several individuals, a part of the medical evacuation efforts, shared their experience on social media as well. Pooja Rambran for the Evening News.
Coming up, West Berbice blaze leaves 7 homeless and Guyana's independence celebration dedicated to MAHDIA fire victims. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Electrical contractors, builders, and homeowners. When it comes to electricals, don't take chances. Invest in top quality electrical items from our electrical department at GAFU's. We stock brands from the USA, Canada, and the UK, such as Cooper Allied and Siemens. Get main and distribution circuit panels and breakers in various sizes. Electrical cables in sizes ranging from 1.5mm to 16mm in single core, flat, and round flex. Surface and flush switches ranging from 1 gang to 6 gang. Also double pole switches from 20 amps to 45 amps. Outlets 13 amps to 20 amps, both surface and flush. Earth rods and clamps 6 inches to 10 inches. Also available are transformers, voltage regulators, and more. So for all your home and office and industrial electrical items, visit the GAFU's location nearest you at MacDoom, Parika, Neems, Land of Canaan, Rose Hall, BV, Kanji, and
Why you must vote at local government elections. Local government officials make decisions every day that affect the well-being of your life, the lives of your family and community. By voting for a voluntary group, political party or individual candidate of your choice, you will be electing the people who will make these very important decisions. If you don't vote, then you allow other people who do vote to choose local government officials without your input. Those others may not share your views about issues that matter to you. Voting also provides you with an opportunity to remind the elected government officials that they are accountable to you. Every eligible citizen has the right and responsibility to vote at local government elections. Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM on 225-0277-9, 226-6557, 223-9650 or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Sally's Boutique is the place to shop when looking for quality high-end men and women footwear, wristwear, wallets, and clothing. Follow us on Instagram, Sally's Boutique GY. We're located at Charlotte Street between Camp and Wellington Streets. Contact us on 231-7519. That's 231-7519. WhatsApp 613-9578. That's 613-9578. Sally's Boutique, the new home of Clark's.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A pensioner and 2 students who are currently sitting the Caribbean Secondary Examination Council (CSEC) are among 7 persons rendered homeless following a fire on Friday at Bushlot Village, West Coast, Berbice. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael has the details in this report.
The fire reportedly started just after midnight on Friday in a house of a family that is on vacation for the past 3 weeks. A second building destroyed was occupied by a 79-year-old pensioner who suffers from a hearing impediment and her 3 grandchildren. The pensioner's tenant, a family of 3, occupied the lower flat. Reports are, upon realizing that the first house was on fire, the pensioner's teenage grandson alerted his siblings and urged them to run to safety. 17-year-old Bibi Ishaq told the Evening News that she was awakened by her brother and soon managed to get her 12-year-old brother and grandmother out of the house.
I wake up grandma and I open the door because he jump over, he broke the lock and open the door. So I open the bolt inside and I walk out and I feel the heat inside the hallway. And we just normally left the back window open in the kitchen. So I see through the fire and how the place bright. So I say, you know what, this place abandoned. I thought it was Awie's house abandoned because you know I feel actually busy. So I said that also, you know, this place abandoned. So I hold granny hand and I run down the step and I watch back from my little brother and my big brother and them. They're behind me. So but before I walk out, I remember that the girl living downstairs. How I get so busy, me forget, but she, I bounce out from the door and start all of her shit. And she come up in the house and she run out. And we went outside. But the house, our house, when we do go outside and walk at the side, we didn't see any fire from our house, none fire.
So where the fire was at that time?
At the back house.
According to the teenager, the fire caught a window curtain on their house, but the firefighters were unable to save the building.
And then spray a little bit water from the zinc, and when done, the water finished, and then the house started catching fire at the back from the veranda, the wood itself, and they just stood there and watched.
Residents expressed disappointment at the actions of the firefighters, noting that they were incapable of tapping into a water source. They believe that had the fire tender arrived on the scene with enough water in its tank, firefighters might have been able to put out the blaze to the second building since the first was already engulfed.
If the fire service at that time, if they could have rendered assistance as in they came on the scene and they had water, the lady house could have been saved. Right? I'm very much annoyed right now with the service that we're having in Region 5. From the fire department. This is not the first time this is happening. It's more than one occasion. You hear people saying they have fires, there's no water. They're not doing their job properly. When the fire truck from New Amsterdam came, that is when they had water. They could have get water from the drain. Even the guys went, public spirited people went and tried to dig channel and see how they could get it sorted out for them to get some water. And they claim, the fire service, they claim that their pump is not working. They had some difficulty with the pump at that point in time, right? However, the fire service from New Amsterdam, they came, they were very cooperative, they had water. Thank you, guys.
The fire had also caused slight damage to 2 other buildings. Nevertheless, the teenager related that she and her brother are currently sitting CSEC examinations. This, she added, will have a major setback for them since all of their study material were destroyed in the blaze.
Persons were shouting at them to use the trench water, so 2 men went in the trench and they started digging in the mud for place the pump, and when the man done dig and so then they tell the 2 persons in the trench at house that the pump don't work, and that wasn't even the duty of the fireman. The 2 persons were from Bushlot up to go in the trench. It was the duty of the fireman to do so, and I believe they could have saved the house, but they didn't have any water. So they literally watched the house burn down.
Meanwhile, persons willing to assist the family can contact them on telephone number 681-9071. Andrew Carmichael for Evening News.
As Guyana ushered in its 57th independence anniversary on Thursday evening in the township of Lethem, President Dr. Irfan Ali told those gathered that his government has fulfilled its commitment to every segment of the Guyanese society. Here is Rupasina Ryan with our report.
In his feature address, the Guyanese head of state positioned that his administration is one that listens and acts in the interest and needs of the people. He added that government represents a platform of trustworthiness.
We are a listening government. We are one that listens, hears, analyzes, and acts on people's concerns. We have fulfilled our commitment to every segment of the Guyanese population. You have trusted us, and we have acted upon your trust. Our senior citizens, our children, our farmers, our miners, our mothers, women, all, you have trusted us, and we have delivered on that trust.
The president further highlighted some of the positives coming out of his time in office thus far, which have brought benefits to senior citizens, children, indigenous communities, women, and other sections of society.
The more than 60% increase in old age pensions since we took office, the removal of more than 100 taxes, the granting of cash grants, the returning of the more than 2,000 jobs, CSO jobs in our Amerindian communities, the fulfillment of our promise to the upliftment of the lives of people in health, education, social services. We have committed ourselves to you.
The establishment of new hospitals, new highways, better education, and training were among the areas where the population can anticipate significant improvements, he added.
We are well on our way of achieving the more than 20,000 scholarships. You have trusted us, and we have delivered upon your trust. In housing, agriculture, food security, all of these areas you have entrusted us with your welfare, and we have delivered upon that trust. Just as you have trusted us and we have delivered, so too can you trust us in the good times.
Going forward, President Ali called for continued trust from the population in order to create a better life for every Guyanese. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Attorney General Anil Nandlal has described the main parliamentary opposition's bid to stop the upcoming local government elections as inimical to public policy and against the public interest. The election is set for Monday, June 12. In a fixed date application filed earlier this month, APNU's Chief Scrutineer Carl Smith-Joseph averred that the Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, acted unlawfully when it changed the boundaries of 37 constituencies in 19 local authority areas. The opposition is insisting that the changes violate Article 72 of the Constitution of Guyana and Section 3(1)(a) and (b) of the Local Authorities Elections Act, Chapter 2803. Consequently, it is seeking an order directing GCOM to comply with the legal provisions in relation to changing the boundaries before the long overdue elections are held. According to Nandlal, it is inimical to public policy and against the public interest for the APNU member to, at this belated hour, seek to prevent the holding of elections when a mere exercise of good conscience could have been utilized for a much more urgent filing, were the decision of GCOM be determined as unconstitutional and unlawful as alleged. The senior counsel in court filings said the country is in elections mode, highlighting that preparations for the June 12 polls are already at an advanced stage and considerable resources have already been expended to ensure the efficient conduct and holding of LGE. This matter will come up before Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George, SC, next Tuesday. Since the glaring attempts to steal the March 2020 general and regional elections, Vice President Dr. Bara Jagdeo has disclosed that the PPPC government has plugged over 50 gaps that existed in the Representation of the People Act. The result is a more secure system which cannot be abused. Details in this report.
Vice President Dr. Bart Jagdeo made this remark in response to the European Union's election follow-up mission, which is reviewing Guyana's progress on electoral reforms. The team recently commended government for implementing some of the EU's recommendations that were made following the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections to enhance the local electoral system. According to the mission, 2 of the 8 priority recommendations were implemented in full through changes made to the Representation of the People's Act and the National Registration Act last year. However, VP Jagdeo pointed out that many gaps which were not in the recommendations were addressed by government to strengthen the electoral laws.
So I had to point out that there were numerous, in fact, countless other gaps that were not part of their recommendation that we plugged in the Representation of the People's Act. So although they didn't recommend them, they only recommended that we deal mainly with the declaration and how we treated statements of poll. But there are several other things that we thought that Lowenfield abused to create uncertainties in the electoral process, and we were determined to fix those.
According to the Vice President, there were about 50 areas that could have been abused that were also plugged in the ROPA amendments. In total, the 2020 EU Election Observer Mission had made 26 recommendations in its final report on diverse aspects of the elections. During a press conference on Wednesday, the follow-up mission highlighted some other critical areas which they believe need intervention, such as campaign financing laws. But Jagdeo noted that while this is something the PPPC government is committed to, it is a complex issue given Guyana's political sphere.
The small parties couldn't even muster, some of them, 2,000 votes. How could you compare campaign finance with the major parties that have 200,000 supporters? It's natural that they will run bigger campaigns. So not for that reason. Our job in government as political parties is not to ensure that every single party has equal financing. You have to raise financing on the basis of your policy making and whether people find you attractive or not. But we do share the view, the concern that big money could alter the results of elections. And that is why we committed to exploring campaign financing reform in this period, and we put that in our manifesto.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
Guyana ushered in its 57th independence anniversary in Lethem on Thursday evening in one of the most somber ways, with an evening dedicated to the 19 lives that were lost in the MAHDIA fire. Let's look at some snippets of the cultural program.
Flying high, may their spirits soar, and may they never be forgotten in this month of May. Yes.
Spirit God, send your spirit God, not by might, not by power, by your spirit God, send your spirit God. You are the fire, we are the temple, you are the glory and the hope, a land of love and unity. Oh, children of Guyana, rise, rise up and sing with happy tunes and bless the land that gave you birth and come to serve her through the
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, May 27th at 23 hours 30 for a period of 45 minutes. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, May 27th at 9 hours 5 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Young cyclists delighted with performance at 2023 three-stage cycle meet, and Guyana beat defending champions Jamaica at Women's T20 Blaze. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles.
Heavy-duty equipment owners and mechanics transfer and dispense grease easily, quickly and precisely from 110 to 132-pound drums with a roughneck air-operated mobile grease pump kit from Sylvie's. This durable product saves maintenance time, is designed to be portable, and keeps impurities out of your grease drum. Shop now at sylviesonline.com or visit our 31 High and Hatfield Street store. We also deliver. Call or WhatsApp 623-7755 for more info.